Suppose a student comes to you and says, I could not come to class, or I could not complete my work, or I could not take this test because of X. And X is a behavior or a situation that's related to domestic violence or intimate partner violence. So that could be because I was in the hospital receiving treatment for injuries that I received, or because I couldn't go back to my house because I was afraid of my partner, or I was in court getting a protection order against my partner. And the student might even bring a copy of the protection order to you. So what do you do in that situation? Well, you're not trained to figure out what to do in that situation, but there are people at the university who are trained to figure out what to do and to help you respond. So in that type of situation, what you should do is thank the person for trusting you enough to come and reveal the situation with which he or she is concerned. You should direct them to call the UW Safe Campus office because we can provide resources for that student. You should notify your supervising faculty member, and after that notification, you should let Safe Campus know about that situation. Because if the student does not call Safe Campus, we'll look and try to find other appropriate ways to reach out to that student to try to provide services for her. Another situation that you might encounter is, let's say that you give feedback to a student about a test, about some academic performance issue, and the student reacts disproportionately to the information that you're providing. It could be disproportionate in that the student breaks out crying, and it's not that big a deal. Or the student would be upset over receiving a B when they thought they should receive an A. Or the student might not understand what you're saying and might not take responsibility for that academic performance. They might start blaming someone else. They might get very angry or stand up or shake their finger in your face or do something else that makes you believe that there's something else going on there that causes this student to have a disproportionate reaction. Well, of course, you'll try to de-escalate that particular situation and explain all the circumstances around your feedback. But what you should also do is realize that that behavior might be indications of mounting stress on that student. And you should talk to your supervising faculty about the situation and also notify Safe Campus. Now you might be saying to yourself, that situation seems relatively minor and I have no idea if that's going to result in violence or not. Why should I call the violence prevention program? Well, it turns out that in cases that we have studied where violence has resulted, in almost all cases were precursor behaviors of dysregulated behavior that were symptoms of a situation going downhill or about a person who was under increasing levels of stress. So our violence prevention strategy is to intervene early in situations where students might be under stress. And if driven to extremes, they might consider violence. So if we can intervene early with appropriate resources, we can help them alleviate that stress and have a more successful academic experience.